After I'm done with this video, you will not even care at all about the price of Bitcoin being in a correction, okay? I'd barely call this a correction. I mean, we are literally about 10% from all-time highs from now, okay? Stocks drop 10% all the time. Relax. Check this news out. Tether's $500 billion valuation would make its chairman the world's fifth richest with a net worth of $224 billion. Now, to be honest, there's no way he's going to be the fifth richest person in the world, because that's not including Rothschild, Rockefellers, all these other guys that own the Federal Reserve. But you get my point. Now let's go over to Nick. Crypto alt season is a loaded spring. Absolutely. Remember, before I cover this, remember when ETH bottomed at around $1,500 and then proceeded to go to $4,800 all-time highs? Remember how fast that happened? That, in my opinion, was the beginning of alt season. Now everybody's like, oh, where's alt season? Have you not seen that rise from the bottom? Remember when Bitcoin bottomed at 15,500, then proceeded to go to $124,000? That was the beginning of the bull market. So now, here we go. Alt perp open interest has been on a steady uptrend since June. It's also outpaced Bitcoin open interest. Open interest is pretty much a leverage in the system, which now makes up only 32% of perp open interest. Okay, so that means the amount of leverage in Bitcoin is only 32% of total open interest. Traders are moving down the risk curve in search of alt volatility. They want this stuff. They're ready for risk. The next few months will be wild. I absolutely agree with this. Now here's some truth bombs here that will probably help you out with mentally handling this little correction that we are having and kicking out that fear of missing out, okay? So this is from Immortal. Lastly, I feel people lose their patience very quickly. We used to happily endure 800 plus days of accumulation. Now we call for a bear market every 24 hours because price didn't do what we wanted. Fried brains, absolutely. Most people, most traders on crypto Twitter, I don't know if you know this, here's the truth. Most of them are fake. Okay, I would say 95% at least of the traders out there showing their profit and losses, showing all their gains that they're making, they're fake, okay? And here's Crypto Chief Priest does it perfectly. Most P&L screenshots are absolutely fake. People making millions don't need to brag on X. Exactly. If they do, it's their first million. For those worried about the market, don't. Just be a chilled guy. The market can't go up without going down first. Stop panicking. Okay, see, he says other stuff, but you get his point. Now, here's where people that are invested in Bitcoin and inflation hedges should be really excited. People that aren't should be pretty depressed here. Fed Chair Powell says uncertainty over inflation path remains high. That's an understatement. There is clear certainty that there is massive inflation, not the 2.18% that your government says that there's inflation. It's a complete joke, guys. Like, anybody with two brain cells to put together knows that inflation is not even close to 2%. It's way above that, okay? And I've shown you time and time again that that is true. Now let's go over to Sam Bankman-Fried just really quick. I want to just put this in here, all right? So he says, good morning. There is like 20,000 people liking this. And then underneath his tweet said, oh, this isn't Sam Bankman-Fried, this is just a friend. It's kind of strange. It looks like it's Sam Bankman-Fried because you know what? He's a liar. You can't really trust him. Now, why do I bring this up? This is really important. There's going to be a massive crash, a massive, massive crash during the next bear market. That's going to make FTX look like a walk in the park at Disneyland. If you don't believe me, just wait. Every single bear market creates a worse and worse liquidity event that is going to shake the core of people that even are like hardcore believers in Bitcoin and stuff. People are going to be super depressed. And some of you kind of, you know what, leave your comment down below if you think you know what I'm talking about here. I'm not going to say it because I'm going to get so much hate. because you know what, it hasn't happened yet. But I think the bear market is going to spur a lot of downdrafts that people are not going to be prepared for, except us, because you know we take profits. Now, why do I think that is bullish? Because we're going to be buying prices that people don't think that we're ever going to see again. And these people are going to be undelightfully surprised because it's going to drop so much and they're not going to have any cash because they think that the bull market is going to last forever. Oh, that is going to be painful for those guys, not for us though. But moving on, I digress. US Treasury just bought back another $750 million of its own debt. It's called debt monetization. Once again, this is the end of an empire. This is what happens when your empire is finished, pretty much. They just start buying their own debt, and that's what's going to be normalized now. And people are getting used to that now. They're getting used to the Treasury buying its own debt, and that's going to continue and continue for the rest of your lives, pretty much. Because eventually that all nations are going to be sick of holding on to US debt, and the US is going to be forced to buy its own debt. But the good news for the US is that stablecoin issuers will go ahead and buy treasuries. They will be forced to buy treasuries. And that is because of the Genius Act. It is genius because it's going to create so much inflation and people are cheering it on. It's a wild time to be alive right now. Now, the Federal Reserve Governor Michelle Bowman says 3 more rate cuts are coming in 2025. More rate cuts. Guys, inflation is already bad enough. This is going to cause even more downward pressure for the US dollar, and it's going to absolutely destroy the middle class even further every single time they do that. And Ray Dalio, the CEO of Bridgewater, says most people are silent because they're afraid to talk about what's really happening with the US economy. This is according to Fortune magazine. Absolutely, people are frightened to go against the narrative because you get all these like cheerleaders in crypto land, all these crypto boys that are saying, oh yeah, this is really good. US economy is kicking butt. In actuality, I'm giving you facts after facts, day after day, showing you no, it's actually really, really bad right now. And it's going to get much, much worse. And that is why, you know, I don't really give a crap about being popular in this space. I'm here to tell you the truth, regardless of how unpopular it is. Now, we also have manufacturing is slowing. What does that mean? To be specifically, this is due to tariffs, which is going to put downward pressure on the US dollar, which is going to create more inflation, and Bitcoin loves inflation. Shipments fell 15 points to 20, the second lowest since May of 2020. We all know what happened during a global shutdown. It got decimated and it's going that low now. New orders fell 9 points to 15, the second lowest number since November 2024. This signals that the US manufacturing downturn is intensifying. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet, all right? Now we also go on to US money supply jumps to a new all-time high of $22.2 trillion. They're printing so much currency, guys. Behind the scenes, they're printing so much, and it's not being talked about enough right now. And that is why it's so important to get in these inflation hedges. And if you do want to see what we are into, check out learningcrypto.com, where we can guide people out of this mess of central bank insanity, which I'm proving time and time again, it is going to be affecting you. Either it's now or later, but you have to make a choice to get into inflation hedges like Bitcoin, all right? So check us out, learningcrypto.com, where you get to see what we are buying, what we're selling, and when we're going to buy that bear market, because it's going to come, and that bear market is going to trigger a major event that is going to shock most people. And once again, leave your comment down below if you think you know what I'm talking about. All right, that's all I have. Talk to you soon.